Today in Awesome Stories, we are going to talk about an Australian science fiction action thriller film called Predestination. Spoilers ahead. We start with an agent walking into a building and uncovering a bomb that's about to go off. He starts disarming the bomb, but someone walks behind him, prompting him to take off his gun and look for the intruder. A man appears before him and the agent ends up getting hit with a bullet. He shoots back, scaring the man away and giving him time to put the bomb in a safe container created to contain the explosion. Before he can close it, the bomb explodes and burns his face, making him scream in pain. A man helps him get to his violin case as he fixes it to escape the place. He wakes up in a hospital bed frustrated for not capturing the bomber. Two men visit the room and give him his second Medal of Honor for serving the agency. The men ask him to rest because his next mission will be his last one. Sitting on his bed, he thinks of the bomber he wasn't able to catch for 10 years. His last attack created an explosion that leveled 10 blocks of New York and killed 10,000 people. A doctor informs him that his reconstructive surgery was successful, but his face is almost unrecognizable. After days recovering, the agent receives his final mission. While he prepares himself for the time jump, he repeats the oath of the agency and receives 2 guns with the time travel machine. Now in the 1970s, the agent bartends at a bar when a man, John, comes through the door and asks for a drink. John asks him to leave the bottle and seems very hostile towards him. They start talking about the Fizzle bomber, who's currently making people scared. John reveals that he writes stories in magazines for a living with the pseudonym The Unmarried Mother. The agent reveals that he reads the stories, surprising him. John bets him a bottle of whiskey that he will tell him the best story that he ever heard, and the agent accepts. He starts telling the story when he was a little girl, surprising the agent since he thought that John was a man. He continues the story when he was left in the doorstep of an orphanage to be adopted. The baby was healthy and received the name Jane Doe. Growing up, she was jealous of kids with parents and would often get in trouble for being disobedient. She also knew she was different from the other girls and sex confused her. Jane would always be fighting other girls and boys, always being tougher than all of them. She was also smart, always getting straight A's at school, mainly math and physics. Being too different from the other girls, she made it very difficult to be adopted. On graduation day, she met Mr. Robertson, a man looking for girls to participate in a government program for space travel. In the first day in the program, she's informed to be careful to not get pregnant during the enlistment because she probably would marry at the end of it. They tested her endurance to make sure she was fit for space travel, and she was the only one who didn't struggle. She's also tested for months on her mental capacity, surpassing many of her colleagues. One day, Jane ends up getting into a fight with a jealous girl and ends up having a medical examination because of it. Because the doctors find something unusual, she's disqualified from the program, but Mr. Robertson promises to help her. For a while, she works as a maid and discovers confession stories in magazines and uses it to pass the time. One night, she meets a man while leaving school and falls in love with him. They are happy for a while, but one night he leaves her and she never sees him again. One day, Mr. Robertson visits her and tells her the truth about the program. He wants to find people for a secretive type of job that could only be done by the best people, like her. Unfortunately, she realizes she's pregnant and her future's changed again. After the cesarean, a doctor comes into her room and tells her she gave birth to a healthy little girl. He also informs her that they found something very unique in her body after the operation. She had 2 full sets of organs, female and male. They had to remove her female organs because of the baby, but they were able to reconstruct her male organs. Her life can continue normally as a man, but she will have to go for a few more surgeries. Determined to raise the baby, she named her Jane, like her mother. Unfortunately, the baby was stolen from the nursery by a man, probably the father, leaving Jane alone once again. After going through the reconstructive surgeries, she started adapting to become a man, like deepening her voice and changing her manners. Now a man, he hates the man who stole her baby and left her all alone. He now looks for a purpose in his life and a way to keep going. After changing his name and moving to New York, he started writing true confession stories as The Unmarried Mother. After hearing the whole story, the agent offers him a chance to confront the man who destroyed his life and kill him. John doesn't believe him, but the agent tells him he works for Mr. Robertson and he wants to help him. They go to the basement and the agent locks the door behind them. The agent tells him that it is not easy to kill someone and most people can't do it. He puts the time machine on a table and configures it to go to the past, in 1963, on the day he met the man who ruined his life. The agent prepares his guns and together they make the time jump, appearing in the past. He tells John that he's a temporal agent who works for the Temporal Bureau and he prevents crimes before they take place. While they change their clothes, the agent informs John that if they make a big deviation from the mission, the Bureau will kill him. The agent also says they can travel without problems 53 years after and before the invention of time travel in 1981. The agent suspects that the man they are looking for may be the Fizzle Bomber, and if John kills him, he will become a temporal agent like him. John goes to the college and waits for Jane to meet the man. When she bumps into him, Jane apologizes to him and he starts realizing that he's the man that Jane fell in love with. The agent observes from afar and decides to travel to the future to stop the Fizzle Bomber. He looks at the man who's finishing planting the bomb and shoots him, but ends up missing. He continues looking for the bomber, but he's attacked from behind and drops his gun. They start fighting and the bomber is able to knock him out. The agent wakes up to shooting sounds and sees a burnt man trying to get to his time machine. He decides to go back to 1964, frustrated for missing his chance to kill the bomber. In 1963, Jane talks with John about how she doesn't meet a lot of new people and how they are a lot alike. While the agent is looking through a window, Mr. Robertson appears and tells him that he made an illegal jump, one that can lead to psychosis and dementia. Mr. Robertson, however, thinks that the Bureau can accomplish more without the bureaucracy of the organization. He tells the agent that he's a gift to humanity with a predestined paradox, free from history and ancestry. Determined to fulfill his destiny, the agent steals Jane's baby, takes her to 1945 and drops her at the orphanage. He travels again to 1963 and sees John on a bench with Jane. John looks back at him and goes to meet him with a gun in his hand. The agent tells him that he has to leave Jane fulfill his destiny, becoming a temporal agent and save millions of lives. Mr. Robertson tells the agent that he's accomplished his mission and John will now take his place. The agent's frustrated since the Fizzle Bomber is still at large and will keep killing innocent people. Mr. Robertson disagrees and tells him that the bomber made him a better agent, and the organization grew because of it. Mr. Robertson also tells him that he has new leads on the bomber, and the agent will be decommissioned once he reaches his final destination. The agent wants to retire in New York, close to the date of the blast. He returns to the bar, gets the whiskey that was betted against John, and quits his bartender job. The agent goes to his apartment in 1975 and programs his time machine to be decommissioned. As the time machine fails to decommission, the agent looks through the evidence that Mr. Robertson gave him from the Fizzle Bomber. Now retired, the agent starts writing confession stories and shows signs of dementia with his shaky hand. Investigating the places that the bomber was sighted, he decides to wait for the bomber in a laundromat. While the bomber is reading a magazine, the agent enters the laundromat with his gun in hand. The agent sees himself much older and with dementia and realizes that he's the Fizzle Bomber. The old man shows him clips from the future where he kills civilians to avoid disasters. The agent says that he'll never become a murderer like his older self, but he knows that one cannot exist without the other. The older man tries to convince the agent to join him, but the agent shoots him, fulfilling his destiny to become the next bomber. The agent exists in a paradox loop where he's responsible for his own conception and his own death. Without a chance to escape the loop, he can only hope that the next agent will make different choices in the hope to change his future. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.